My goodness. Still don't know why it yelled at me. All right. So we are going to do, oh, the cat's going to come visit. We are going to do core tonight, which I said in the email. Core involves the glutes as well. So I know that's exciting to everyone. I'm going to mute everybody. And then I think I can pin this for you. I have this right. All right, so as always, listen to your body. If something doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it, especially in this setting where I can't see you. I won't even know. The one thing I just wanted to show you before we get going is a quick flow with dolphin instead of downward facing dog, because I know that there is someone, one or two people who are having a lot of issues with wrists. So this is a lot safer. So I'll just show you quick before we get into laying down and everything. So everyone kind of knows what dolphin is, right? It's more a forearm plank. De-interlace your fingers, tuck your pinkies underneath. Elbows are about shoulder width apart. And then we're going to move our feet back and then hike the hips up to the sky. Again, you're in the same position as downward facing dog. It's doing the same thing, keeping your knees bent. Back is straight, really pressing through the forearms. And then for the flow, you're just going to walk yourself forward to a forearm plank, lower down, untuck into Sphinx. You can come back into that forearm plank, hiking back up to downward facing dog. And then you would just come into tabletop and move to the top of the mat. So if that works better for you, it's actually a lot more shoulders, but it's going to take all the weight off of the wrists and move it all into the forearms and the shoulders. So it's, if that's easier for you, we're going to do dolphin tonight as well, but I just wanted to show you that as an alternative to the regular flow if you have any kind of type of injury that way. So, yeah, I think that's it. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to get a little sweaty, hopefully. And yeah, so I invite you to find whatever rest feels like for you, if you haven't run away already. All right. Just taking a few moments here to really settle in, really finding ease and comfort here. Wiggle anything that you want. Again, you can be laying down, you can be seated, whatever. And then we're going to start with that nice cleansing breath, inhaling in through the nose, filling up your belly, your ribs, and your chest. And really exhale, sigh it out, let it go. One more time, a nice big inhale, filling up the chest, really expanding the breath here. Sighing it out, letting it all go. Really starting to allow your body to relax, become heavy, melting into the mat beneath you. Coming back to the breath. Noticing that rise and fall. That warm hug around your heart center with each inhalation. Remembering, as always, we are connected in breath, even though we're not physically together. We can still share our energy. On each exhalation, we can send out love and compassion to everyone else joining. Finding a sense of gratitude that we still get to connect, even if it's not the same. Really allowing yourself to rest here for a few breaths, knowing that you don't need to earn your rest. You can take it anytime you need it.
Noticing what parts of your body are connected to the ground. Maybe allowing them to feel a little bit heavier. And just staying here for a few more moments, riding the waves of your inhales and your exhales. And in your next few breaths, we're going to slowly start to wake ourselves up here. You can wiggle fingers and toes. You can roll out wrists and ankles if that feels good. You can find that head rock side to side. Again, really releasing any tension here. As much as we're going to work today, we're also going to stretch to kind of keep everything moving. I know we've all been doing a lot of shoveling. We're going to find that big reach stretch. We're really going to stretch out our core before we start to engage it. So really inhale, feel the length in your spine, inhaling your fingers towards the top of the mat. Maybe we even point our toes, creating some tension here in the body. And as you exhale, soften. Finding that again, you can find any variation you like. You can interlace your fingers. Really inhale, creating length, really growing long here. And as you exhale, soften into the mat. We're going to hug one knee in and then the other, finding that knees to chest. Again, maybe a little rock or finding stillness. We're going to come back to center. We're going to draw circles in the ceiling. We're going to draw 2 circles if that's available for you. So really opening up the hips here. You can draw 1 circle if that's easier. Just kind of listening to your body. If you can, open up your hips a little bit. We are going to be doing some glute work, which is going to use our hips as well. So just kind of lubricating them and getting them ready. Coming back through center, we're going to find our circles in the opposite direction this time. We're going to come back to center. All right, here we go. We're going to find our tabletop legs. Arms can go on either side of us, or maybe we want cactus or T. It all depends on you. You might want your palms down just to give you a little more stability here. So we're going to keep, I really want you to notice core engagement as we're on our back here. That means pulling that belly button into spine. So really pushing the low back into the mat. And if that means keeping your knees closer to your body, then do it. I want you to really focus on that core engagement, not on curving the spine. Oh, it's going to be a rough night. I can't talk. Here we go. So really pulling that belly button in. You should already feel your core engaged here, your core working. So we're going to inhale, and then we're going to keep our legs together. As we exhale, we're going to drop our legs over to the right just a little bit until you feel your core really tight and engaged. We're using our obliques here. We're going to inhale back to center, and then exhale, letting them fall to the left. Now, you might notice that you're not falling very far, and that's okay. As long as you feel that core engagement, it doesn't matter how far you move. And we're just going to rock like this side to side, making sure shoulders stay on the mat. When we're coming back to center, finding that neutral spine, belly button into spine. Probably going to hear that one a lot tonight. We're going to find 2 more in each direction. Again, really getting the core engaged, starting to get it warmed up. A nice strong core is so important, especially in the weather right now. It's going to prevent you from falling, or at least help you. Maybe you'll look a little bit more graceful. Who knows? Beautiful. We're going to come back to center. If you want to hug your knees into chest here, you can wiggle it out, whatever you need. All right, we're going to find that same core engagement. We're going to bring our knees up, tabletop legs. Arms up towards the sky, palms facing in. We're gonna find our cloud walk. So again, making sure that low back stays on the mat the entire time, really pressing it in. And we're gonna find the cloud walk. So we're gonna exhale, left leg out, right arm up overhead. And again, if you notice your low back lifting, keep that leg closer to the body. Inhale back to center. Exhale the other side. And just going where this takes you. Flowing from side to side. I want you to move nice and slow here with your breath. Again, we're really looking for nice core engagement here. You should be feeling this a little bit. If you're not, let me know when we can amp it up. We should actually be doing this one a lot more. This is really fantastic for your core. You don't have to do crunches to get your core engaged and working and strong. Beautiful. Finding this one more time on each side. And then again, when you finish your last one, maybe you want to hug your knees into chest, maybe a little rock side to side, whatever it is you need. We're going to find one more core exercise on the mat here before we make our way into our glute bridges, which I know you're so excited about. I wish I could see your faces right now. So again, arms on either side of us. Maybe the palms are down once again, just to create a little more stability. Finding those tabletop legs, pulling that belly button in, engaging your core. You should already feel it. And again, you can stay here. You don't have to move at all. If you like, we're going to keep our legs together and we're going to tap both toes down to the ground, making sure that low back stays rooted. If the low back lifts, you just lift your legs back up and don't go down as far. So just finding a few of these here. This is really turning on the lower abs at this point, which is fantastic for pelvic floor health as well. 2 more. And then again, when you finish your last one, hug it in, whatever you need to do. And then we're going to set up for our bridge pose. You might even want to do a little windshield washer here. If there's anything that's built up inside you, let it go. Wiggle it out, let it go. So walking our feet in, whenever you're ready, to your bridge. Again, really pressing through the feet and the shoulders. Arms can be wherever you would like. And we're going to inhale here. As we exhale, squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up towards the sky, opening up the front of the body. This is also going to stretch out our core here while we're working our glutes. So we're going to hold here for a couple of breaths. And on your next exhale, we're going to slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Finding our bridge flow here. So inhale to lift and exhale to lower. And you don't even have to lift that high to engage your glutes. You don't even have to lift your glutes at all. Maybe you just squeeze them and envisioning lifting them off the mat. Finding 2 more in this variation. Beautiful. Letting that go. We're going to come to the top of our tiptoes. So we're going to lift our heels off the mat. Again, if this is available, if this is really uncomfortable for you, keeping the heels on the mat the entire time. So again, we're going to find that bridge flow. We're going to inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Maybe we even keep our glutes off the mat at the bottom, or maybe they lower all the way down, trying to keep those heels off the mat the entire time. And maybe the glutes off the mat as well. It just all depends where you want to go with this. Finding 2 more. And on your last one, slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to allow our heels to come to the mat. And before we stretch this out, we're going to walk our feet in. So our feet are together, knees are together, really squeezing the legs together here. You've done this one in class in person. We're going to inhale here, and then we're going to lift the glutes up towards the sky. Again, squeezing those legs together, not letting our knees separate. You might not lift that high, and again, that's okay. And as we exhale, lower down. We're going to find a few of these. We're really turning on the inner parts of our legs, the adductors as well. I know you're all so excited you showed up for online yoga tonight. Ooh. Finding 2 more like this. And then again, slowly rolling down 1 vertebrae at a time. We can allow our feet to come to the edge of the mat further away. We can windshield washer this out. Really let it go here. Maybe we move a little bit slower. We can even look over the opposite shoulder as our knees are falling. And then we're going to come back to center. We're going to find a happy baby to really stretch that out a little bit here. So we're going to hug our knees into our chest to start. Then allow the knees to come towards the armpits here. And maybe this is where we stay. Maybe this feels really good already. If not, we can reach through the inner parts of the legs, the outer parts of the soles. Really allowing the hips to open here. You can rock side to side, but maybe even a figure 4 feels better at this moment. Just whatever you need to kind of stretch some of that out. By all means, do it. We're going to come back to center, allowing our heels to rub on, closing our knees up, lowering our feet to the mat, reaching the right or the left arm over the head, rolling over onto the right or the left side body, pausing here for our breath. And then we're going to gently press ourselves up into a seated pose here. So finding cross-legged or any seated pose that feels comfortable for you. All right, finding some breath here together, remembering we are connected through this breath. So we're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. Nice big inhale. Exhale, heart center. One more time, inhaling up, really reaching up. Maybe we look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. We're going to walk our hands over to the right, finding that twist to the right. Right fingertips cupped. Spine is tall. We're just twisting it out here. Inhaling back to center, finding that nice gentle twist on the other side. We're going to inhale back to center. We're going to stretch out our wrists here before we start moving. So if you want to stay in seated or if you want to go into that toe stand where you're tucking your toes underneath and that feels better for you tonight, find that as well. So we're going to reach that right arm forward. We're going to pull our fingers towards the body. And then pulling them up. Finding that on the other side. Pulling that up. We can shake it out. We can find some figure 8s here. And we're going to find that one where we open up the book. So hands come to prayer here, keeping a part of our hands connected at all times. We're going to open up the book towards us as we roll our hands around, really allowing this movement. You can make it as big as you like. You can roll them up towards the sky. Just really taking care of our wrists here before we start to move. Coming back to center and doing that in the opposite direction. So opening up the book away from you and just allowing this to move here. And when you come back to center again, you can shake that out. And we're going to gently make our way into our tabletop pose. So finding that neutral spine here, Fingertips spread nice and wide. We can go into fists instead of wrists as well. And then on your exhale, lowering down into your cow, rising up into cat. Really moving nice and slow at your pace. Allowing some relaxation into your body here. One more time through. Then meeting in that neutral spine here, we're going to find that spinal balance. So it's almost the same as the cloud walk we did. So we're going to inhale that left foot to the back of the mat. Toes can be on the mat or lifted. You know where we're going. Again, core is engaged. Really feeling that core engagement, just as if we were laying down. If it's available, that right arm is going to go forward here. Holding this for a few breaths. And on your next breath, we're going to come back to center. Right leg to the back of the mat this time. Again, maybe we lift it. And then if it's available, left arm forward. Again, trying to keep our hips square to the mat. Core engaged here. Coming back down to center. Maybe you want to wiggle a little bit of that out. We're going to walk our hands forward a couple inches, fingertips spread nice and wide. This is where you can also make your way into dolphin if that's a little bit easier for you. We're going to tuck our toes, and in either variation, lifting our hips up and back, finding that downward facing dog or dolphin, or we can stay in tabletop, or we can find child's. Allowing movement in here, pedaling it out. Beautiful. Coming back to center here. We're going to gently bend our knees and make our way to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Allowing ourselves to be heavy, maybe a little rock. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, rooting down. We're going to rise up to the sky. And as we exhale, we're going to find that cactus back bend here, really opening up the front of the chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Inhaling up. Exhaling, hands down through heart center. All right, we're going to find just two flows to go through here, just like normal, just warming up the body. Again, if you want to do that dolphin flow, you can do that as well. It's going to give you a bit of a different feeling. So if you want to try it, you can. If you want to do just the regular old-fashioned version, then follow along. We're going to inhale up to the sky. Woo, I'm hitting things. As we exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, planting our hands, reaching the left foot to the back of the mat, or the right one, whichever one. Untucking the toes, rising up into that low lunge. Maybe holding it here for a breath or two. You can even walk that right foot forward or whichever foot is in front. Exhale, folding forward, planting our hands, stepping back into plank or kneeling plank, or that forearm plank. Holding here. And then we're going to exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhaling up into cobra or sphinx. Exhale, lower. Tucking our toes, pressing into our palms, rising up. Plank, kneeling plank, or forearm plank. Exhale, hinging up. Finding downward facing dog or dolphin. Bending our knees, making our way to the top of the mat, finding forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. Exhale, finding that cactus back bend. Inhaling up. Exhale, swan dive. halfway lift. Exhale, full, plant our hands, right foot to the back of the mat this time, untucking those toes, lowering the knee, rising up. Exhale, lowering our hands. You can tuck the back toes. Left foot meets right at the back of the mat, plank, kneeling plank, or forearm plank. Lowering all the way down. Untucking those toes, finding cobra, baby cobra, or sphinx. Exhale to lower. Tucking the toes, pressing up into any variation of plank that works for you. And then hinging our hips up and back, finding downward facing dog. Maybe you want to pedal it out for a second, reset. And then bending our knees, making our way to the top of the mat, finding that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down, rising up to the sky. And exhaling, hands down through heart center. And allowing ourselves to find our mountain. Maybe you want to grab a sip of water here. All right, are we ready? No, I am. Love that I can't hear or see any of you. All right, inhaling up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna plant our hands. We're gonna step the left foot to the back of the mat, high on the ball mound of that left foot. Rising up, crescent lunge. Arms can be overhead, they can be at heart center, whatever feels good for you. Just making sure our hips are square to the front of the mat. And you might want to find a little bit closer legged crescent lunge, just because we are going to add a lunge into this if that's in your practice today. You don't have to. If it's available, on our next exhale, we're going to find our cactus back bend as we lower that left knee towards the mat. Inhale, reaching back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, rising up. Beautiful. Time finding two more here. Last one. Inhaling back up. Holding this crescent lunge for a breath. And then as we exhale, opening up, finding warrior two. Again, settling in here. Maybe you want to move around a little bit. Right palm up, reaching forward, exalt our warrior. If you'd like a little bit more this evening, we're going to lift that right heel off the mat in our exalted warrior. You don't have to though. As we exhale, lowering that heel, coming back to warrior two. One more time here, reaching up, finding our exalted warrior. Maybe we lift that heel off the mat, maybe we don't. Just giving you lots of options tonight. Exhale back, warrior two. Making your way into your variation of supported side angle pose or side angle pose. Again, really noticing that our chest is opening up towards the sky. Holding here, really allowing the length to come into the left side of the body. But we have a little bit of compression on the right side. Exhale back up. Warrior two. We're going to straighten that right leg, kicking out the left hip, making our way into our triangle. Now we're going to really use our obliques here. So we're going to allow that right hand to come kind of out. Palms can be forward. And then we're going to envision someone pulling us up towards the sky with our left hand. So we're going to lift a little bit and then back down. Lifting up, coming back down. Again, just a few times here. Really using our obliques here. I don't know if you can feel it. Last one. Beautiful, coming back into that triangle pose, holding it here. And then we're going to come up and exalt our triangle. Legs stay straight, really pulling that, opening up the right side of the body. Making our way back, warrior two. Hands come to heart center. We're going to pivot our feet. Find our goddess squat. So again, We can heel to around wherever feels comfortable. Lowering down, toes are pointed to the corners of the mat. Spine is tall here. Really feeling our knees pull to the back of the mat. So we're really opening up here. Holding this for a breath or two. Our hands come to heart center. We're gonna make our way into horse pose just slowly. So we're gonna lift the right heel off the mat and lower. Left heel off and lower. Right, lower, left. One more time, right and left. And if it's available, maybe we lift both heels off the mat this time, finding our balance here, using our stabilizer muscles, our leg muscles, our core. Beautiful. We're gonna lower our heels to the mat. We're gonna rise up to standing. We're gonna pivot our feet, finding our wide-legged forward fold here. On our next exhale, really hinge at the hips, finding that fold, heel toeing in or out, whatever you need. Knees can be bent. And when you found that nice, comfy spot, allowing your hands to come into the midline, crown of the head towards the ground. Shifting some weight into the balls of the feet here. We're going to inhale back to that halfway lift. And then we're going to walk our hands to the top of the mat as we pivot our feet. We're going to come back into a crescent lunge. So just gently making our way there. Now, this is where we're going to have some fun, because you're not having fun already. All right, hands can be at hips or at heart center, wherever you find better balance and stability. It's different for everyone. If you have great balance, you can keep your arms up the entire time. Kudos to you. All right, I'm going to stay at heart center. We're going to root through this right leg. And we're going to rise up. Ooh, I touched down, that's okay. Spine is nice and tall, lifting that left knee up towards the chest, flexing those left toes. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do. You have two different options here. First option is the full option. We're going to exhale, reach that left leg back, finding warrior three. Now we're going to find that Shiva squat. So we're going to squat down, bringing that left knee to behind the right calf, reaching that back up, warrior three, and then rising back up, better than I did, knee towards the chest. If that's too much, we're going to start with that leg toward or knee toward the chest. We're going to reach that left foot back. Toes can stay on the mat. You can stay here, or you can find a little bit of an uneven squat and then rise back up. They're both going to work your core and your glutes. So finding whichever variation you want to try, maybe both. All right, here we go. We're going to try to get through 4 of these. So starting with that left leg lifted, we're going to exhale. You can reach it back into warrior three or plant the toes on the mat. You can find an uneven squat, or we're going to bring that left knee behind the right shin, reaching back up, finding your variation of warrior three, rising back up to standing. Beautiful. Reaching that back again to your variation, finding that Shiva squat or uneven squat, reaching back, rising back up. 2 more, and then I promise we'll stretch out. Exhaling back, Shiva squat or uneven squat, reaching back, rising up. Last one here. Finding your variation of squat, reaching back, rising up, holding that for a breath. And then we're going to reach that left foot back on a 45-degree angle. We're finding pyramid pose. So both legs are straight, hips are square to the front of the mat. And then we're really going to hinge at our hips as we walk our hands down. Again, maybe our hands stay here at that halfway lift. Maybe we round in. We're going to bend that right leg. Then we're going to step that left foot to meet the right, finding forward fold. You might want to pedal this out, really allowing the calves here to open back up. Beautiful. We're going to inhale to our halfway lift. We're going to exhale, fold. We're going to plant our hands. We're going to step back into our tabletop. I promised you dolphin before class started. So here we go. So again, we're going to interlace our fingers, allowing the pinkies to come underneath. Elbows are about in line with our shoulders here. We're going to start in forearm plank, or you can find forearm kneeling plank. Your knees don't have to come off the mat. So we're going to try to push ourselves forward. Shoulders are over their elbows. And then we're going to gently walk our feet in, hiking those hips up towards the sky, finding dolphin here. This is also a great stretch for your calves, bending our knees as much as we need to. Exactly the same as downward dog, pressing through those forearms. Holding this just for a couple more breaths. Then we're going to gently lower our knees to the mat, to the edges of the mat, big toes touch, sitting back on our heels and finding your way into a child's pose. Allowing your body to release a little bit here. Maybe you want to rock side to side. Maybe you want to sigh it out. Taking some nice deep breaths. Slowing the body down just for a breath or two before you find all of that on the other side. On our next breath, we're going to look forward, pressing into our palms, making our way back into our tabletop pose. And then you can either step into our forward fold, or we can make our way from our downward facing dog, maybe tucking our toes, lifting our hips. And then making our way to the top of the mat, finding our forward fold. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, rooting down as we rise up to the sky. And exhaling, mountain. Beautiful. Maybe you want to roll that out. Maybe you want to grab a sip of water before we do our sequence on the other side. All right. I'm going to try facing you a little bit here. All right, so we're going to find that on the other side. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. As we exhale, swan dive. Inhaling up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to plant our hands. We're going to reach the right foot to the back of the mat this time, finding that crescent lunge. Rising up. Again, maybe finding a little bit closer legged one, making sure the hips are square. Arms can be at heart center or all the way up to the sky. And then we're going to find those lunges, if that's available to you today, on this side. So inhale, and as we exhale, back bend, or cactus back bend, right leg knee towards the mat, reaching up. Exhale, lower. Inhale to rise. 2 more. Woo! 1 more. Beautiful. Rising up, holding our crescent lunge here. And then as we exhale, opening up, finding our warrior 2. Again, allowing our hips to settle and open. Taking a breath. Last palm up, maybe we reach exalted warrior. Again, the option to lift that front heel off the mat is available to you if you'd like. That heel is lifted, we're going to lower it back down, find warrior 2. 1 more time, maybe we lift the heel as we exalt. Beautiful, making our way back. Warrior 2. We're going to find that side angle pose or supported side angle pose, whatever feels comfortable for you and your body today. You know your body best, so really listen to it here. Again, feeling the right side of the body this time lengthen out, 1 long line of energy here. As we exhale, rise up, warrior 2, straightening that left leg, kicking out the hip, finding our triangle pose. And then really picturing someone reaching or pulling you up by those right fingertips, rising up a little bit and allowing yourself to lower. Really feeling the engagement of the obliques on this side. So moving nice and slow. It's not a race. Beautiful. 2 more. And then the last one. Beautiful. Exalt our triangle. Legs stay straight. Finding that exalt. Beautiful. Making our way back. Warrior 2. Hands to heart center. We're going to pivot our feet and find that goddess squat again. So again, lowering that down. Spine is tall. Really pressing those knees to the back of the mat. Hands are going to come behind our thighs. So again, we're going to do a little bit more of oblique work. All right, we're going to inhale here as we exhale. We're going to reach that right hand down to the right, back to center, left hand down this time. Really feeling the obliques engage here. If you have to touch them to feel them, you can. Again, we're working the legs as well, which is kind of cool. I don't know how cool you feel it is, but I think it's cool. One more time on each side. Beautiful. Coming back to center, bring our hands to heart center, just holding that goddess squat just for a couple more breaths. Maybe we pulse it down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Rise up out of that. Maybe you want to shake it out a little bit. And we're going to find another wide-legged forward fold. So pivoting our feet here, moving our feet wherever is comfortable. And then really hinging at our hips as we fold forward. Again, finding that nice, comfy, sweet spot in your body. And as you exhale, round down. Palms down, crown of the head towards the mat. We're going to inhale to that halfway lift, walking our hands to the top of the mat as we pivot our feet, finding our crescent lunge again, because we're going to find that awesome vinyasa here. Vinyasa just means flow of poses together. I'm going to move a little bit here. All right, rooting to the left leg. This time we're going to rise up, bringing that right knee towards the chest. A little more wobbly on this side. Crown of the head is nice and tall towards the sky. Spine is lengthening. Oh my. All right, as we exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips as we reach that right foot to the back, finding warrior 3 or toes on the mat. As we exhale, we can find that Shiva squat, right knee to left, whatever it is, calf this time, or uneven squat, reaching back, rising back up. My goodness. Exhale, reaching that back to your variation. Finding your variation of a Shiva squat or uneven squat, reaching back, coming back up to center. There's a lot of core engagement as well as glutes and legs. Beautiful. And I've lost count because I was talking, so we're going to do one more because I think we have one more. Woo! Beautiful. Last one here. Exhaling that down, reaching that back up. Rising up, holding here, knee to chest, and then reaching that right foot back, finding pyramid on this side. So finding that right foot on a 45, hips square, spine is tall, legs are straight, walking our hands down, finding that halfway lift, and if it feels comfortable, rounding that in. Little micro bend in that left knee, just to protect it here. You don't want to overextend. And then we're going to bend that left foot, right foot meets left, forward, hold. Again, hang out, rock it side to side. We can pedal this out. Beautiful, letting our torso be heavy. We can hold on opposite elbows. And then on your next exhale, maybe we roll up one vertebrae at a time. Slowly making our way to standing. Maybe you want to do a couple of shoulder rolls. Whatever you need here. If you want to grab a sip of water. Great. And then meeting at the top of the mat. We're going to inhale up to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to plant our hands. We're going to reach the left foot to the back of the mat. We're going to lower that left knee. We're going to walk that right foot a little bit forward here, finding just more of a runner's lunge here. So spine is tall. We're not rounding in. We're allowing that hip to open, stretching that out. Again, you might want to move this right knee or right foot. Right knee should be over your ankle. We're not in dragon. We're just in a nice runner's lunge with the knee lowered here. Breathing for a couple of breaths. And then as we exhale, we're going to walk ourselves back, finding that half split. So lengthening that right leg, right toes flexed, finding that tall spine. Or if we want to round in, go ahead and do that here. We're going to gently walk ourselves back forward, planting that right foot, and then bringing the right knee to meet the left into our tabletop. Maybe you want to rock side to side. You can circle out your hips, maybe a cat-cow. And then we're going to find that on the other side. So we're going to reach that left leg back and then round it in, bringing it through between our hands. Hand to heel if we get stuck again. You can heel toe that left foot forward. Really finding that runner's lunge, finding that opening in the hip flexor. And then as we exhale, finding that half split. So walking our hands back, straightening that left leg. Our tall spine, or maybe we round in. Beautiful, walking our hands forward, planting that left foot, and then bringing the left knee to meet the right. Again, allowing any movement here that feels comfortable and feels good for you. Anything that you need to get out of your body here. And then we're going to make our way into our seat, because what core practice wouldn't be complete without a boat pose? So again, fleshy bits away, really ensuring that we're sitting on our sits bones here. Feet can stay on the mat the entire time. Hands behind our thighs to start. Spine is tall, rolling the shoulders back and down. We're going to engage our core, pulling that belly button into spine and letting our back fall just a little bit here. I really want you to notice the engagement, feeling your core turning on. Again, this is perfect. If you want to find a little bit more, you can lift one foot and then the other, or we can reach both feet up, palms up, or we can lengthen our legs all the way up towards the sky, wherever you're at today, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allowing ourselves to come back, giving ourselves a nice big hug. You can round in. We're going to find boat pose one more time. Now I'm going to give you 2 different options. We're going to find boat pose with a little bit of a pulse here because it's so much fun. So 2 options. If your feet are on the ground, I want you to lift one knee up and then the other, really feeling the core engage. The core should be moving your leg. If you're coming into full boat pose, we're just going to bring our knees towards us and out, just finding that little bit of a pulse. So again, setting up into boat properly before we start. Spine tall, shoulders back and down, engaging that core, finding your variation. And then we're going to find a pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Lowering our feet, giving ourselves one more big hug, tall spine, rounding that chin towards our chest. All right, we're gonna rise up here. We're just gonna allow our knees to fold either side. Soles touch, finding our butterfly. Spine is tall. Maybe we just flap our wings. Maybe that's where we're at today, allowing the hips to open. You wanna find a fold. We're gonna inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold in, arms wherever they land. Bringing the forehead towards the feet. We're gonna inhale, rise up out of that. We're gonna close our knees up like a book. And then we're gonna make our way into the middle of the mat. We're gonna lower ourselves all the way down to our backs, hugging in one knee and then the other, finding that knees to chest. Again, maybe we rock side to side. Maybe we're like, thank goodness, that's almost over. All right, we're gonna allow our feet to come to the mat. We're gonna find our figure four stretch, and then we're gonna do our twist in figure four. We're gonna cross the right ankle below the left knee, right toes flexed. Maybe we just stay here, pressing that right knee away, really opening up the body here. Or we can find our other variation, reaching through, hugging that left knee in towards the chest, just making sure the shoulders stay rooted, we're not rounding in. Finding your variation here. You can even lengthen this left leg if that feels more comfortable for you. Some people prefer to lengthen the leg, holding onto the shin. Again, you have lots of different options here, kind of going with whatever feels comfortable for you, whatever stretch you need. Really breathing into those tight spaces here, allowing the hips and the glutes to open up, really stretch out. That knee is towards the chest. We're gonna allow that left foot to come to the mat, keeping our legs where they are. Arms in cactus or T. And on your next exhale, we're gonna allow our legs to fall to the left, keeping that right knee towards the sky, right foot on the mat. If this is really uncomfortable, you can put the right leg over top of the left, finding a more gentle supine twist. Breathing into the spine. Allowing the body to start to relax. Noticing if there's anywhere you're gripping on here, and you let go. In our next few breaths, we're going to come back through center. We're going to uncross our legs. We're going to make sure we're back in the midline here, so you can move our feet around if we want, move our back around. We can find windshield washer side to side maybe. And then coming back to center, finding figure four on the other side, left ankle below the right knee. You can press that left knee away, or we can hug that right knee in towards the chest, finding your variation that works. Holding this position here for about 5 more rounds of breath. And then when you feel ready coming out of that, lowering the right foot to the mat, keeping our legs where they are, arms in cactus or T, and allowing our legs to fall to the right this time. Again, if this is really uncomfortable, finding your variation of a twist. Each exhalation, maybe we're letting go a little bit more, allowing yourself to soften into the pose. We're going to gently inhale our legs back to center. Again, we can come out of this, uncrossing legs, maybe move windshield washer side to side. And then I'm going to invite you to find any pose you need here before we settle into rest. So maybe it's that big reach stretch, reaching at the core or stretching at the core. Maybe it's a happy baby. Maybe you need more of a glute stretch. Whatever it is here, maybe it's just knees to chest. Maybe you hug one knee in and then the other. Just giving yourself a little bit of love here, listening to your body. And then in your next few breaths, gently making your way into final resting pose, Shavasana, however that looks for you in the space that you're in today. Taking your time, again, wiggling anything out that you need to. And then we're going to take that nice cleansing breath together here, inhaling through the nose, filling up the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And really exhale, sigh everything out, let it go. One more time, inhaling, filling up the space. And exhaling it all out, letting go of your day, letting go of your practice, letting go of everything that isn't serving you in this moment. And coming back to the breath, welcoming it back into the body. Noticing where the breath goes. Is there any place that it feels stuck? Maybe you can breathe into that space, and on your exhale, allow it to move again. Really feeling the breath as it moves around the body, from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. Really allowing the breath to relax you, to calm you. And with each exhalation, softening, becoming heavy. Allowing the space between the forehead, or allowing the space in the forehead to relax. Relaxing the eyes and the jaw, letting the head become heavy. Allowing your shoulders to come away from your ears. Softening the arms. Maybe we're gripping the fingers, we let them go. Allowing the chest and the pelvis to be soft. And letting go of all tension and stress in our legs, all the way down to our toes. Breathing into the entire body, noticing this calm and relaxing feeling you have. And know that that's available to you at any time, You just have to breathe. And just staying here for a few more moments. Once again, allowing you to hold this virtual space safe for you. In your next few breaths, gently allowing yourself to wake up. But knowing that you don't have to move at all. If you want to stay in Shavasana where you are, that's fine too. Allowing more movement into the body when it feels right. Finding any pose or posture that you need to wake up, to let go, to feel rejuvenated, re-energized. And then in your next few breaths, bending your knees, placing your feet on the mat, reaching the right or the left arm over the head, rolling over onto the right or the left side body, pausing for a breath. And then pressing through your palm and making your way up into seated lotus pose. And again, what a wonderful way we can connect together with our breath. So breathing together in unison if that's available. We're going to inhale our arms up to the sky. And exhaling them down through heart center as we bow into your own love and light. Once again, giving yourself a little bit of gratitude for showing up. Thank you so much for joining me again virtually this evening. The love and the light in me sees and honors the love and the light in each of you. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Bye, everybody.